minutes of fame that you had referenced earlier, sir. So, it is the bonus round. So let us have the opportunity for you to have your word. We didn't do a coin toss in terms of who goes first, but Luke, I'm going to start with you. So you have 3 minutes to speak, and then Roy, we will go with you. 3 minutes, and I think I have that right. And so, Luke is in favor, and so take it away, sir.
Okay, well, I just want to point out again something that's so important for everyone to understand. You might have come here tonight under the impression that somehow Proposition 1 favors one party or the other. As we heard earlier, similar reforms to Proposition 1 are on the ballot in red states, blue states, purple states. In some states, it's the Democratic establishment opposing them. In other states, it's the Republican establishment opposing them. What we know from the experience in Alaska is that this type of reform does not benefit one party or the other. They elected the same, after passing this reform in Alaska, they elected the same number of Democrats and the same number of Republicans as before. It does not benefit one party or the other, it benefits all voters, regardless of party, because it restores the right of every voter, especially those unaffiliated voters who, again, are tax-paying citizens in our state. It restores their right to participate in every Idaho election, which, after all, their tax dollars pay for those elections. So it's about the voters, not one party or another, and this reform does not favor candidates from the Democratic Party or candidates from the Republican Party. It favors candidates, regardless of their party, who represent the broader community, who listen to the broader community and are accountable to the broader community. That's another area of consensus, I think, among all of us here, is we all are talking about believing in accountability. That's at the core of what Proposition 1 is about. Because right now in Idaho, we don't have a system where elected officials are accountable to all of the voters. We have a system where elected officials are only really accountable to the small group of voters who vote in the closed Republican primary. That's not even the majority of all Republicans. It's one small slice of the most hyper-partisan Republicans. That's what the whole system is currently accountable to. That's wrong. If we really believe, as our Constitution says, that all political power is inherent in the people, we've got to take that seriously. It can't be all political power is inherent in one small group of voters who show up for closed Republican primaries. It's all power is inherent in the people, all of the voters, all of the citizens, because every tax-paying citizen deserves a right to vote in every Idaho election. Thank you.
Roy is for proposition opposed.
Well, you'd be surprised to know that I have differences with Luke, right? So, look, I think that there are facts that fly in the face of some of that information. So as an example, in the Sarapela election in Alaska, because there were multiple Republican candidates, the Republican candidates as a total got 61%. The Democrat got about half that, was declared the winner. The state of Alaska, since statehood, which is in the 1950s, has never had a Democratic legislative representative in Washington, D.C. They do now. She's sitting in the Capitol representing Alaska and never got a majority of the votes. The Republicans got the majority of the votes. And that's a fact. And it's a fact today because she's there. Now, ranked choice voting, in my opinion, comes down to something very simple. One man, one vote. All votes get counted. And the highest vote getter is always elected. And that's not always true in ranked choice voting. Luke gave an example of a runoff. In a runoff, everybody gets to vote again. In ranked choice voting, you vote once, and you rank the 4 candidates. And without your knowledge, without your consent, without you ever voting again, they take your vote and can assign it without even discussing it with you to another candidate that can ultimately end up being the winner. So majority rule is out. 61% of the time, there is not a true majority, a mathematical majority. 50.1% of the votes go to the winning candidate. Whether you like those facts or not, facts are hard things, that's the fact. Now, in my vote, and my way of looking at it, ranked choice voting is not in the Constitution. And in fact, we cannot elect, like the President of the United States, the Constitution says we cannot use ranked choice voting to do that. So if you're thinking this is all constitutional, I don't know where that comes from. Because I don't see it anywhere in my reading of the Constitution. And there are a lot of people who don't understand it. There's a lot of people who don't know what to do. I'm a one man, one vote, and the winner must have the majority, not a manufactured majority by giving your vote to someone else without your consent or your knowledge.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Okay. As we close out one, I want to say thank you to everyone. I know we're a little bit over time, but we also want to have an opportunity for our candidates to have a perspective on their positions. So you each have 1 minute. Charlie, we are starting. You're already getting up. So we're going to start with you. You each have 1 minute to make a statement, and then we will do a close. Thank you, Charlie, sir.
So as you guys know, I won the Republican primary for District 7 St. B. Because I won the primary, I do not automatically go down and represent at the State House. I have to win the general election. So that small percentage that put me into the Republican ballot does not automatically send me down there. Everybody from this point on has a chance to vote for me. And when that vote happens, if I get the majority of the votes, and you guys send me back to Boise for my third term, I will represent District 7. I will not be worried about what people in Boise want me to do, or what people in Valley County want me to do, or people in Eastern Idaho. I will 100% support the wishes of the majority of the voters from District 7. That's what I've done in the past, and I will continue to do that. So that's as honest as I can be about all the issues. If that's not good enough, then you need to go to the polls in November and find somebody else. Because I will continue to vote and represent how the residents of District 7 want me to vote. Period. Thank you.
Thank you. Kyle, please. 1 minute.
Thanks for having us up again. I appreciate it. It's been an exciting evening. If I win, I will go down there to be a representative of the district. That's my goal. That's why I got into this. There's a lot of issues I see in this state that we need to address. There's a lot of things that didn't get talked about this evening. But at the end of the day, when it comes to Prop 1, there's no reason to change the system that's been in place since the founding of this state just because somebody else is not excited enough or isn't passionate enough to get off their couch or get out of their house and go do something about it. If you want to have a different system, have a third party candidate and put somebody forward to run. Anybody can vote in a primary, but for a Republican Party, which the primaries got closed because it was constitutional for them to close their primaries. And so if you want to go ahead and get involved with it, register as a Republican and vote. If you want to be an independent, run an independent candidate and vote. We don't need to change an entire system of voting just because they say 270,000 people are disenfranchised. Well, they're not. They have a choice, and they have the ability to go vote. They just choose not to.
Thank you. Cindy, please.
You all have a choice in November to vote for Bill Farmer or I, Cindy Carlson, for your senator for District 7. I believe that either one of us would represent Idaho County and Adams County and Nez Perce County just the way the populace votes that way. So if the majority goes to Bill, that's the way he's gonna vote. If the majority goes to me, that's the way I'm gonna vote, because I'll probably be more conservative than him. And that being said, I do listen to what you all have to say. I get emails, sometimes 1,000 emails a day about issues. I do read those emails. I don't respond to every email, but I do read them. And I listen to the ones that are written, handwritten, like not
Form letter.
yeah, a form letter. I listen to the ones that give me specifics, and that's how I base my votes. If you think that I indicated that I won't listen to what you say, that I want to clarify. I listen to what people are telling me in my district, and that is how I vote, because I represent you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill, please.
I agree with Cindy. We're both here as good American citizens, as good patriots and so forth. And we really are here in the best interest of our county and our state. All of us up here on that. I also won the primary in Idaho County, or in Idaho, Adams and Nez Perce County, District 7, as a Democrat. I got 882 votes. That's a bunch. That's a bunch. I would like to say that we're representing people who vote because they know what they're voting for. The truth of the matter is, 56,000 people that were represented in these three counties don't know us very well. A bunch of them don't read the newspaper, they don't listen to local news, they don't talk to anybody about politics, and they don't know who she is. And they don't know who I am. But you can bet that they're gonna go and vote. And they're gonna vote on somebody's word that, or maybe just because they belong to a party or something, but they're gonna vote. So as we look at how to get that 56,000 people to vote for me, I would appreciate your help.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. Kaylee, please.
First, I want to thank you for letting a federal candidate in what is very obviously a very legislative panel. I was disappointed my opponent couldn't be here, so I just want to say I hope that everything's okay, and I look forward to November 5th. Here's the truth. I am running in one of the biggest and reddest districts in America. And I know that just because I have a D next to my name, it makes it infinitely harder for me to represent you. But I want to say lastly, I'm not asking for anybody in this room to call themselves a Democrat or a liberal. What I'm asking from the people in this room is send somebody to DC who doesn't care about being a career politician, who doesn't care about party politics, who isn't beholden to anybody except for the voters. Because I don't take $1 of corporate PAC money, I don't take $1 of special interest money. Every dollar my campaign has comes from working class Idaho families. Send me to DC. And I promise you I will get more done than you have seen DC do for this state in the last 10 to 20 years. I love the state of Idaho. I don't want to change this community. I just want to be a part of it and represent it best.
Thank you. Vickie, please.
I told you folks earlier that I got into this because I was unhappy and I decided to do something about it. I would love to believe what I just heard, that they're going to represent their district, but what happened in the legislature last year tells me that that doesn't happen. 3, as I know it, legislators got censured because they didn't vote along the party line that was spelled out in their platform. To me, that isn't democracy. I personally, you guys, we all have something in common. Every one of us, we all have free will. What that tells me is I have the ability to research, to question, to talk to my constituents and my voters and ask them what they want to do and make the best decision I can based on that. It isn't based on if my party is going to censure me because I didn't agree with what they wanted voted in. I will represent this district as equitably as I know to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And let's give a big round of applause. Thank you so much for coming out, and this is just a wonderful opportunity to hear from everyone in terms of what their platform is, to help us make informed decisions. And I do want to thank Terry as well as our director for the chamber and what the chamber has done to make this happen. So if you have closing comments?
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming and actually give a big shout out to Liz Clark and Maria because they really pretty much pulled us together. It's a great event for Grangeville and to show the community what we can all do together.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.